What is going on, guys? It's Wraith back with another video. Now in today's video I'm going to be talking about one of the biggest actual kind of discussions in all of Fortnite, and it's why you're not actually improving or getting better, or even if you feel like you've plateaued, if you're a pretty good player and you feel like you just can't break through that barrier and actually get even better. Or even for the casual players who are like, okay, I'm just getting absolutely clapped by sweat lords and people who are just running over me in pubs now or even arena and I can't really do anything. This video is meant for you guys, and again, even if you're really good, you can still use this video to improve. And for the background, I'll just be using some pros gameplay, because for right now, my recording software wasn't really working, so I couldn't record any of my World Cup gameplays, which is kind of unfortunate, but don't worry, I will get some new gameplays for the future videos. But let's get right into the video, and the first tip I'm going to be talking about is eliminating your RNG. Now, what RNG is, for those of you who don't know, is a random number generator, and basically what that means is if you go and land somewhere and you open a chest, you can get a heavy sniper, or you can get a common SMG, right? Or you can even get a golden pump, right? That's kind of RNG. It's basically randomized loot or even floor loot. You can run and go grab you can look, find no guns or no pumps in an entire building or even an entire town, depending on RNG. But a couple things you can kind of do to minimize RNG, and what you want to try and do if you feel like you've plateaued or you want to get better, is find somewhere new. Instead of landing tilted towers every single game, try landing somewhere like Lonely Lodge or Happy Hamlet, somewhere like that, where you can eliminate RNG because less people go there, so you have more places to yourself to loot and actually find good guns before someone pushes you. And I know some of you guys might be like, okay, well, what happens if I want to land tilted towers every single game and I want to just land there because I feel like I'm improving the most and that's my point of landing spot? That's fine. Then if you don't want to try and learn a new spot and try to minimize an RNG, what you got to do is learn how to use every gun. Now, obviously, this seems way more difficult than it is, but if you're going to land somewhere like Tilted, Salty, Retail, one of the main spots, you're going to have to learn how to be able to beat someone with an SMG or even a common pistol when they have a pump. Obviously, it's very hard to do, but you'll see pros still do it every single day. This day, people will be like, RNG is too big in this game, especially if you go to people who play like Apex Legend. They're like, oh, I never get a right gun and then I die to someone with a pump right off spawn, right? But basically, if you think about it, every single pro or very, very good player somehow is very consistent with their gameplay. Nick Merckx lands tilted every single game. Somehow he still does very, very good every single game, and every single tournament he still does very good, very good. Same with Ghost Aiden. Ghost Bizzle, he lands somewhere pretty populated. I think his normal spot was Retail, but he might have changed it by now. And he still finishes top 10, top 15 almost every single tournament. So if you think about it, RNG still affects these guys. If they're not getting a pump, they're learning how to play with an SMG or learn how to play with attack. You just got to learn how to play with other weapons, and if that's not working or you don't want to do that, then again, try landing somewhere else, try finding somewhere else where less people go so you have a better chance at finding guns. Now, the second tip I'm going to talk about, and tons and tons and tons of players do this, almost every single player I know do this, I even did a little bit, but is thinking about why you died instead of blaming something else, blaming an external factor, blaming something else, right? So, example, blaming your leg or blaming your wall not placing or you missing your shots, or the one I actually hate the most is, oh, this player is so sweaty or this player is trying way too hard. Yeah, obviously he's trying hard, you Nimrod. The whole point is trying to win the game. He's not going to not try, obviously. But basically, well, the whole point of that is, instead of actually blaming something, think about why you died. I've talked about this in so many videos, and still so many people don't think about why they died. Did you miss a ton of close range shots? Did you screw up your builds? Did you miss an edit? Did you try and leave a box when you should have stayed in there? There's so many small things that you can think about why you died, instead of being like, oh yeah, that guy's so tryhard, leave the game, start a new game. Oh, my wall lagged and didn't place. I'm sure your wall didn't lag, and even if it did, what could you have done earlier before that fight? Could you have hit more AR shots on him coming when he was rushing you? Could you have hit a pump before that? Could you have missed it, etc, etc? Now, a couple things you can do to think about these is, okay, so say you miss close range shots, write down on a piece of paper. Okay, first game, missed close range shots. Second game, why did you die? Oh, I missed my 90s, missed 90s, right? I did this for 25 games. You can do it for as many as you want. Figure out what the biggest thing was. If you missed shots a lot, go on a creative aiming course, practice your aiming. If you have PC, go to Kovacs, practice your aiming. If it was when you were boxed up and you didn't know you missed your edits, go on an edit course, practice your editing, or get a buddy and practice turtle wars, etc., etc. Now things, if you can't think quickly enough right after you die, go in replay mode, kind of actually break through all that thing, every single thing that happened in that fight, and try and isolate the main problem that you can actually work on. Sure, obviously there will be times where you'll lag and you actually won't be able to do anything, or he's lagging and he just teleports right next to you, etc., etc. That's fine, but there's still things you can fix. For example, if someone has higher ping than you and retakes your wall, don't blame it on the ping. Don't say, oh, I need better ping. Try and hit your pump when he edits it. He still has to edit it, or do something else, or leave your box. Go upwards, build a ramp. There's so many small things you can do instead of blaming external factors, right? Now, the third tip I'm going to say is learning from pro players. Now, this is a huge one. Not a lot of people do this, but not in the way that they should be doing this. And basically, if you're tired of grinding and you just want to relax, chill on your bed, whatever, chill on your desk, and watch some pro players play, or Ninja, or whatever, actually try and learn from what they're doing. So, for example, if you're watching people like Mongrel, Tfue, Savage, Poach, anyone who's like really good but also entertaining, instead of just watching their gameplay and listening to them, actually try and look and learn from what they're doing. So, for example, Mongrel I find is the best one to actually do it because he's so fast and so quick with his decisions. Think about what he's doing. Every single thing he does is for a reason, right? So if he's in a box, think about, okay, well, what would I do in this box, and what's he gonna do? If he edits out the top or tries to make an edit play on the guy, learn from that. If he's from low ground, be like, okay, what does he do to retake high ground, or does he stay low ground, or what does he do, right? If Tfue's doing the Tfue classic where he jumps over someone, pumps, and then builds a floor, why is he doing that? Would you have done that? What could you have done, right? So basically think about it and actually try and come from an analytical side of view and try and learn from what they're doing instead of just watching. Again, you can do the note thing if you want. Again, say if you see something really cool, Mongrel does, say he does a really cool retake, do that, write it down. If he's in a box, instead of exiting like you would have done, or instead of building out the top or going for a shot, he fakes an edit, lets him shoot the wall, and then pumps him, right? Try and write down things that you can actually work on, or actually things you could have done that you haven't thought of before. Obviously, if you just want to chill and you don't want to write things down, still just try and remember, or say, okay, if he's low ground, he just tries to dip from a fight depending on his loadout, right? Just try and remember if you don't really want to write things down. But yeah, there's so many things you can learn from pro players. Just continue to watch them, especially if you're bored or in the morning or whatever, right? Now, the fourth thing I'm going to talk about is figure out what's holding you back. If you're missing your shots or your builds, or you're not playing smart, now this comes down to kind of mechanics and game sense. Figure out what it is and try and isolate that problem and fix it. Now this kind of goes, this kind of goes back to the old tip I said, with thinking about why you die. But this is more of a big problem. So if you're missing shots every single game over 50 games period of time, you clearly need to work on your mechanic of shooting. You clearly need to go in Kovacs, you kind of need to go into an aim trainer and creative, anything. Again, this is kind of related to the second tip, but this is more on a bigger scale. Figure out what's actually holding you back. Is it your confidence? Is every single time you get into the top 10 scenario, you're just, oh my god, I don't know what to do, I'm panicking, blah, blah, blah. Figure it out, try and fix it. If it's your confidence, calm down, be like, I'm good at this game, I've been here tons of times, I can do this. Or try and get to top 10 more. Play less aggressive middle game and early game, and try and get to top 10 more so you can isolate that problem and get rid of it. If it's your game sense, again, just watch pro players or figure out what's causing you to die, and trust me, your game sense will get better. Now, the fifth and final tip is use your time more efficiently. Now, I know some of you guys can only play, say, an hour a day, but what you do with that hour highly affects what you're going to do. Now, I know tons of players who decide to quit Fortnite is saying, oh yeah, man, you needed to play 6 hours a day to actually be able to get a win here or there. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true. I think an average player with an average time schedule playing 2 or 3 hours a day can still actually become good. Yes, granted, they probably will not become pro or at a very, very high level, but they can still be able to pub stomp or do very well. I know tons of my buddies who just play after school, play pretty casually, and they still can drop 10, 15 kills without a really second hesitation. Not a big deal, but you just got to figure out what to do with your time. Now again, people hop in, say they have 2 hours to play, and they'll just play squads the entire time, right? And they'll be like, okay, why am I not improving? I want to get better at this game. I'm just getting clapped, right? For those 2 hours, try and break it down into separate segments. Try and play 25 minutes of aiming and editing courses. Try playing 25 minutes of 1v1s. Play 35 minutes of solos or play 35 minutes of arenas. Try and actually improve. And sure, if you want to play a little bit of fun, play 45 minutes of squads. Play 45 minutes with your buddies. But that other hour, hour and a half, you want to be trying to improve, right? Obviously, once you get better, then you can exit out a little bit more and play more of an hour and 15 of squads or sector, right? But again, if you have 5 hours to play every single day, there's no reason you shouldn't be improving. If you're just playing squads 5 hours a day and you want to get better, not the way to do it. You want to be playing arena, you want to be playing aiming courses, editing courses, improving your mechanics, watching bot reviews, watching pro players. You want to be using your time effectively. You don't want to be wasting your time playing squads or duos publicly, like pubs. If you have the time, even if you don't have the time, there's still ways you can improve and use that time to actually improve. Well, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully you do actually improve from these. Let me know any other tips you guys have, or if these tips actually helped you guys. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video. And make sure you comment for a future video. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Now have a good one, everyone. Bye.